Hi, this is Black Krishna or BK for manfowars.com, where I'm promoting polite patriotism to help nice ladies and gents teach kids to be, to help us all look, walk, talk, and feel great, and to help us locally discuss and share great online info offline as nice, helpful people making better places to live. So check out manfowars.com for more on that. But this video is called NBA. Poor KD and Kyrie have almost no team's fans and probably never will. Oh my goodness. So if you're a fan of the NBA, you know KD, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. They currently play for the Brooklyn Nets, though both are, currently injured. Um, and I just like to explain kind of my thesis, right, in terms of who they are and why they have almost no team's fans, and they probably never will. I'm an NBA fan myself, love my NBA junk food, awesome. And so, let's get into it. And then hopefully you can feel a little bit sorry for them while at the same time understanding why this might be true. So first of all, they're great players and they're not financially poor. They're probably worth together $500 million with their salaries and endorsement contracts and so on. So, they're not poor in the financial sense. They are both a little bit sensitive and a little bit eccentric and quirky, and they've been known to be moody by all their past teams. And they but they also left teams badly. They both left teams badly. Kevin Durant left OKC, Oklahoma City, to join a Golden State team that was already doing really well and that beat them the year before in the playoffs. So when it comes to OKC and Oklahoma City, the OKC fans, have a hate on for KD, right? And then when he left Golden State, he never seemed to be truly comfortable there. He was really crapped on for joining an already very successful team. They already had 3 All-Stars, and he became the 4th All-Star, and they really stacked the deck. So even when he won his 2 championships and his 2 Finals MVP trophies, he still wasn't given and didn't feel he got the credit that he deserved for being possibly the best player in the world because he was on such a stacked team when there should be more parity. I mean, certain teams can stack a bit, but when you got 2 supposedly top 5 players and another 2 in maybe the top 15, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry in the top 5, certainly at the time, and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green probably in the top 15 at that time, most people would consider. That's just in a 450 player league with 30 teams in the NBA. That's a little much, right? So, a lot of us know that. So he wasn't that comfortable there. The fans didn't quite take to him. It was always Steph Curry's team, and it was always the homegrown stars, Steph and Klay and Dre. And then he left. And when he left, it was kind of awkward as well, right? I even think KD probably came back to play in the finals in 2019 against Toronto. Not so much because, he was like, I'm there for my team. I love this team. I love basketball. I love my teammates. I'm going to try. But because if Golden State, after winning in 2017 and 2018 with KD on the team, won in 2019 with KD injured, then that really proves that they didn't need him. And frankly, with Golden State up against the Toronto Raptors in the 2019 finals, with a healthy Steph Curry and a healthy Klay Thompson and a healthy Draymond Green and a healthy squad besides KD, it's very possible they could have beaten the Raptors with a fairly healthy Kawhi and a really great team. Toronto had a great team in 2019 as well. That's how they made the finals. But it's very possible, based on what Golden State did against the Houston Rockets and against the Portland Trail Blazers in the Western Conference semifinals and finals in 2019, it's very possible that if Golden State had stayed healthy, if they hadn't lost Klay Thompson to an injury in Game 5, then it's possible that they would have beaten the Toronto Raptors with their depth, with their championship experience, with the fact that they won a title before Kevin Durant got there, before losing in the finals the year after. Although they won that title against LeBron when he had an injured Kyrie and an injured Kevin Love. So, little asterisk there, but to prove they were still an amazing team, they came back the next year and said, oh, you think we got lucky because LeBron's sidekicks were injured? We'll come back the next year and win 73 games, right? So Golden State was a great team. And if Golden State had won the 2019 finals without Kevin Durant, then that would have proved that they never really needed him, and it would have invalidated his playing with Golden State in many ways. So that's why I think, even though his calf slash Achilles was still a little sore and he was recovering, he desperately wanted to get back out there and play. And there's no doubt he's a great player. Kevin Durant is a great player. When he's healthy, he's arguably top three, one of the top three players in the world. 1, 2, or 3, you can argue for any of them, and you can hold that position firm. You can't be easily argued out of it because he's a fantastic player. But when it comes to his legacy in Golden State, I really think he came back just to say, I helped you guys win in 2019 as well, not you won without me, why did I even come here, right? So he had a complicated relationship with the Golden State fans, and then he left to sign with Brooklyn when they felt bad for him, injuring himself in the finals, and they probably wanted him back. But again, it was always a tenuous relationship. And now he's with Brooklyn, and he's sitting on the bench. He's out for this year with that torn Achilles. And Godspeed, good luck. Hope he comes back next year and kicks some ass. He's a great player, fun to watch. Nothing personally against him. I just putting some of this NBA lore in context here. So that's Kevin Durant. And then you got Kyrie Irving, right? And I'll get to Brooklyn in a second. And then you got Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving left Cleveland. And he left Cleveland. A lot of Cleveland fans were pissed because LeBron was still there. Kyrie left before 2017, or before 2018, right? It was 2018. Anyway, he left and LeBron was still there. And the Kyrie, LeBron, Kevin Love combination, along with Tristan Thompson and others, had a real chance to win the NBA championship, right? But because Kyrie left and he was like, I can see the writing on the wall. I think LeBron's leaving after next year. I don't want to be stuck here. Screw it. I want to get out of here, right? So Kyrie requested a trade. There was allegedly, he said, if you don't trade me, I'll probably have surgery and miss half the season, and so on. So, and he was supposedly moody and mercurial and didn't talk to teammates for weeks at a time while he was on Cleveland too. So Kyrie had a complicated relationship with Cleveland fans, Cleveland Cavaliers fans, and then as soon as he left, they gave his number 2 jersey number to their new rookie Colin Sexton and said, "Here, we know Kyrie was here. We know he helped us win the 2016 championship, and then in 2017 we went to the finals and we lost again, and then he demanded a trade and he wasn't there for 2018. But you know what? Since he demanded a trade, screw him. We're going to give Colin Sexton his jersey number as soon as he leaves." So when it comes to how the franchise is treating him, not too good. And when it comes to how the fan base is treating him, certainly, Cleveland fans, OKC fans and Golden State fans, about KD, and Cleveland fans, about Kyrie, right? So then Kyrie goes to Boston, does okay his first year until he gets hurt in 2018, and the team does really well for him. And then in 2019, he's supposedly sulking. The team's not doing that good. Everyone on the Boston Celtics seems miserable, according to lots of people who closely observed them. And it was just a really toxic environment for a variety of reasons. Not all Kyrie's fault. Maybe Brad Stevens shouldn't have played Gordon Hayward so early above other more healthy guys, and that caused some chemistry issues. Maybe Terry Rozier was chafing at being a backup, and they should have traded him and said, you know what, man, you're young, you want to earn your stripes in this league and make your money and get the biggest contract possible, so we're not going to hold you back by sticking you behind Kyrie as a backup. We're going to say, okay, we'll trade you for another good player and go do your thing. No big deal, right? But Kyrie on the Boston Celtics really pissed off the Boston Celtics fan base, and when he didn't go back there for the Brooklyn Nets game in Boston this year, there was a lot of saying he's a coward. There were posters outside the TD Garden Arena in Boston saying he's a coward, and so on and so forth. So there you go. So Kyrie. Cleveland fans, he probably abandoned us. He abandoned us, at least a year too early, because they still had a chance to win with Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron. And then when it comes to Boston, the Boston fans hate him for being a large part of ruining their 2019 NBA season, 2018-2019 NBA season, right? So there's 4 fan bases where these guys were superstars on those teams, and yet they don't have a lot of teams' fans. Now, in fairness, they've got individual fans, right? They've got individual fans. They've got people who love Kevin Durant, love his game, love him as a nice guy, and you know they follow Kevin Durant no matter where he goes, right? And Kyrie Irving, same thing. May have a lot of individual fans who are big fans of Kyrie Irving. But when it comes to team fan bases, when it comes to being a player and looking back on your career and saying you really contributed to the team, to the city, to the culture, to how much fun people were having at the time, and you can go back and you can be treated as a hero for all the great things you did there. Time heals all wounds, but at this point, it's not looking that likely that they'll get the kind of love that other players, have, right? Even players who leave teams, if they don't leave that badly, or if things didn't go that badly when they were there, then they often get that kind of love. So I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it seems like they don't have any teams fans. KD, no OKC fans, no Golden State fans, almost none. I mean, it's going to be some, obviously. They're superstars in this league, but by and large, there's going to be arguments in the fan base as opposed to the universal love, right? And Kyrie with Cleveland and Boston, same thing, right? No fans or almost no fans, and certainly some arguments there as opposed to the universal love that most superstars command, unless they end things really badly this way. Right now, as I said, Kevin Durant is out for the season with that torn Achilles, and Kyrie Irving, seemed to have a shoulder impingement, right? When I first heard about the shoulder impingement is such a weird little word. It makes things seem small and inconsequential that I thought, okay, so it's impinged a bit, and then when it calms down and it's not impinged, it's like you got a little crick in your neck or a crick in your back or something. That's what it seemed like to me. And I thought, okay, I didn't know what an impingement was. I'm just like, okay, something's impinged. But I thought he'd be back soon. I think the general vibe was that he'd be back soon. The Brooklyn Nets didn't talk a lot about, when he'd come back. And they seemed to make it seem like it wasn't that serious and he'd come back soon. Plus, in Brooklyn, the team went 4-7 with him, and then they went like 12-4 without him. And since then, they've lost a bunch of games and so on. So, it's not like they're definitely better without Kyrie. But initially, they didn't seem to be better with Kyrie. And then when he went out with an injury, they seemed to be better without Kyrie, right? And the chemistry and so on, and less kind of selfish ball hogging that Kyrie does, and so on, right? If you compare Kyrie Irving in Boston to Kemba Walker in Boston, they're almost the same player, except the way Kemba Walker does a lot of similar stuff is a lot more involving the others, a lot more a part of the offense, as opposed to I'm doing my own thing, you stand around and you feel frustrated while I do my own thing, whereas Kemba can do his own thing within the flow of the Boston offense, and that's an issue Kyrie has had at times throughout his career. The point is with Kyrie's shoulder and his impingement, he's talking about, because he's had some injury problems before, and Brian Windhorst from the Hoop Collective and ESPN talked about this extensively. He says, you got to feel bad for the guy. He's had a bunch of injuries. He's had some surgeries. His last knee surgery went really badly. He got an infection. He could have died from it. He had to have another surgery to get out some piece of metal that was infecting him or whatever, and it was really bad. So you can see why he wants to avoid surgery. But when it comes to his rehab this year from the shoulder impingement, he wanted to avoid taking drugs. He wanted to avoid, cortisone. He wanted to avoid surgery. He wanted to try and rehab it as best he could. And now he's still not back. He's still got some pain. He's still got some whatever. And he may have season-ending surgery this year in the 2019-20 season. So that would mean that Kyrie shows up to Brooklyn. They underperform with him on the court. They overperform with him off the court. And then he's got season-ending surgery. So that's no way to endear yourself to the Brooklyn fan base, right? So KD and Kyrie are not making a lot of Brooklyn Nets fans this year, as it's kind of a lost season, right? But the whole thing is that the whole thing is like, look, wait. Once they're all healthy, we know Kevin Durant's out for this year, 2020 season, but when he's back in 2021, 2020-21 season, then we're going to go for a championship. Then we're going to get a ring. Then we'll have a healthy Kevin Durant. Then we'll have a healthy Kyrie Irving. We'll have a tough, gritty Brooklyn Nets squad coached by Kenny Atkinson. So there's a real good chance that we're going to win a championship this year, right? That's the goal. Not so fast, right? And here's why. Whenever a player, even an all-star or an all-NBA or a superstar level player, is returning from a major injury, like possibly Kyrie Irving with his shoulder impingement, which may or may not be major. It's kind of mysterious right now. And it's certainly more serious than it initially seemed, and it seems to be getting more serious as little bits of news trickled out, or Kyrie holds a press conference the other day, the first one in a long time, to say this is what's happening, basically. But when any athlete, even superstar, returns from an injury, it takes them a while to get back into the flow of things, whether it's Kyrie Irving with whatever's going on with his shoulder, or Kevin Durant with his torn Achilles, which is the worst, maybe not the worst, you can get your head chopped off, but in terms of normal basketball injuries, it's probably the worst injury that you can have, right? Elton Brand came back, and his left leg was like a few inches shorter, or one of his legs was a few inches shorter, and he could barely jump anymore, and his calf muscle never grew as big and strong as it used to be, as the other one was. And there's many other stories. Now, some players come back, like Dominique Wilkins came back and played at an all-star level, practically the same guy. But if you look at recent examples of recent foot/leg injuries, and I'm thinking specifically of Paul George after that horrible ankle injury at Team USA practice, and if you look at Gordon Hayward after that horrible ankle injury on the first day of the season, the 2018 season, 2017-2018 season, excuse me, and then he was out for that season and came back last year. With both of these guys, it seems like it takes a full year of getting back on the court and playing and getting used to it and trusting the lower part of your body, your Achilles, your ankle, your leg, or whatever, trusting, it fully, seeing over and over again they can handle the pace and speed and physicality of an NBA game, the amount of cutting you do, the amount of bumping into each other you do, the amount of randomly jumping high and being concerned about landing on someone's ankle, which could cause another injury or re-injure a part of your body, which means you're probably less likely to do that, right? It takes a full year sometimes. I mean, these two cases for sure. When Paul George first came back, he wasn't quite the same. A year later, he's playing at a near MVP level, right? Gordon Hayward first came back last year. Is trying to get back, didn't quite get back. Year was over, never got back. This year, he's playing like an all-star again when he's not suffering from random injuries like a broken hand or something like that. But from the injury, the major injury that kept him out for a year, he seems to be back at an all-star level. But that was after a full year of playing in the NBA at an okay level. Only then could they get back to an all-star, all-NBA, superstar, possibly caliber level, right? So, so it's not like KD's out for this year. Kyrie may be out for this year. He may be only here for, half of the year or something. It's not like after that, as soon as they come back, boom, championship squad. KD, Kyrie, DeAndre Jordan, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, a fun team in many ways, and a talented team of grinders, right? It's not like they're automatically guaranteed to be both back at 100% next year, right? So then you look at their ages, right? KD was born on September 29th, 1988. So that means he's 31 now, right? And he'll be 32 next year, and he'll be 33 the year after that. So ballpark, 31 now, 32 when he comes back, needs a year to recover, to get back to being the best version of himself. And then finally at the age 33, he might be fully recovered from that injury and ready to kick some ass. Now, as we see with LeBron James, he's 35 and he's playing really, really great, but he's still not the player he was, right? Not quite as physically dominant, gets a little bit more tired at times, but he's playing at an all-star, all-NBA, superstar level this year. He's in the MVP conversation, even if he's not at the very top of it, right? But LeBron James is obsessed with physical fitness. Obsessed with it. They say he spends $1 million+ a year on his body, legendary physical fitness. Kevin Durant is not. He's never been known for being obsessed with being in shape. He may start now, but he's never been known for it. He's got a skinny build, but even with that skinny build, he doesn't maximize that build to the point where, he's whatever. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, not saying he's not a great player, not saying all that crap. But I'm just saying compared to LeBron as an older player, he may not physically hold up as well. Now he's got less minutes, less mileage on his body than LeBron does, so it's a mixed bag, But the bottom line is, at the age of 33 is when he may finally be back to being fully healthy and fully confident and competing at his highest level. And that's a little old for a superstar to be leading a team to a championship in a very competitive NBA. And then Kyrie Irving was born on March 23rd, 1992. So he's 27 now. He'll be around 29 then. That's not too old. That's kind of NBA prime. But he also has not been obsessed with taking care of his body based on whatever. There have been concerns about his conditioning before. You can physically look at him and see that he's in shape, but he's certainly not maximizing, the type of shape he could be in. And I'm not talking bodybuilder, right? I'm not talking, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, right? But in terms of just looking at a guy and going, for basketball, you're really pushing yourself to the physical limit. You're not trying to make yourself big and bulky, but you're really cut, you're really solid, you're really whatever. Neither KD nor Kyrie are necessarily trying to do that. So the odds of them winning a championship in Brooklyn are not that great either, right? So that means that even the Brooklyn Nets fan base, this is where they probably never will have a team's fan base's love, unconditionally, universally, like NBA superstars often do. Even the Brooklyn Nets fan base this year, little disappointing. KD's out. Kyrie's injured for at least half the year, possibly the whole year. Who knows at this point? And then they come back and they may underperform. Kyrie may be back, but may not, perform that well. KD may be back and may not perform like the KD of a few years ago in his late 20s or whatever, when he was winning finals MVPs. And then after that, who knows? So if they do put it all together, if they do have terrific regular seasons, terrific playoffs, and win championships, then I'm wrong. If they don't, and if they underperform, as I suggest here they might, that it's very possible that poor KD and poor Kyrie will have almost no team's fan base's love and probably never will. That means when KD goes back to OKC, Golden State, or Brooklyn, it'll be, he's still a celebrity, still a superstar, still a multimillionaire, still a top athlete, but won't give you the fan base, the same kind of feeling. Won't get that unconditional crazy love. Might get some polite, claps or whatever. And then when Kyrie goes back to Cleveland or Boston or Brooklyn, same thing. And there you have it. So anyway, just some fun NBA thoughts like you may enjoy, like I certainly enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed these. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, or get in touch with questions, answers, to work together, interview requests, or financial support. You can also use any clips of this you'd like in your own works or repost, whatever, and let me know if you'd like or as you'd like. Otherwise, Black Krishna or BK from manforwars.com. Hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.